If you think life abroad is just luxury, soft life, and aesthetic brunches every weekend, then this video is just for you. Far away from everyone that matters to you, the general culture here is that you work. It's really exhausting, it's draining, and you can find yourself even falling more into that whole depression or like a funk. And my alcohol consumption skyrocketed, and it's obviously like because of how you're feeling. How much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed. Hi, I'm Snowy. If you're seeing my face for the first time, welcome to my channel. I am an African immigrant from the beautiful kingdom of Eswatini, and I've been living abroad in the UK, Northern Ireland, for a few years now. And in this video, I'll be talking about how life abroad might look like, an Instagram heaven, but it is much more complex than that. When you're watching from home, it looks like people who are living abroad have made it. They're dressed well, you're always seeing all these beautiful buildings, aesthetic apartments, just lovely developed infrastructure, and it looks like, wow, that looks amazing. And people are traveling more, they have just the financial freedom, they are dressing well, and they have all these maybe designer labels you think are so expensive. The first topic is loneliness and isolation. So when you're living abroad, you don't realize that you can be surrounded by so many people, but you actually feel quite alone. You have traveled a long way from home, so you're far away from everyone that matters to you. I moved here when I was 30, so obviously in 30 years I have built a social circle. I have friends, I had colleagues I was close with. I had just a routine of like a comforting structure and support system that I had, including family. So once you get abroad, you are all alone. It feels like you have no one to talk to, even knowing that even if you were a homebody before, but knowing that you always have your cousin there, you have your friend there, you have your mom just a stone throw away. And when you get here, it hits you really hard that, wow, I am actually all alone. There could be big things happening to you career-wise or personally, but you celebrate those milestones alone. And another sad thing is that if there's anything happening back home as well, like people you love and care about are celebrating their milestones, or there's a death or any type of celebration, you're not there for it. You can plan ahead and like attend some of them, but you have to realize that there's a lot of things you're going to miss, because although you've moved abroad, life is still going on for the people you love and care about, just like things are happening for you, and the people you love aren't really there. So you're essentially doing life alone. You have no support system. I feel it a lot for me because I have a child, and there's issues like childcare. People around here have their parents to go and pick up their kids, their sisters to pick up their kids, the godmothers, whatever. They have that whole support system to sort of help them in anything they need, but you have no one. You end up building that support structure, obviously, but initially you have no one, and it takes a lot of time to build that support structure. And let's be honest, that support structure you built here will not compare to the ones of your own close family and friends. Work is hard. One thing that you will realize in the UK is that people work. They literally work. If you don't work, you obviously choose the life you want to live here. So if you want to live a comfortable life, you'll work more. But if you don't, you'll just do your basic work hours, and you never overextend yourself, and then you might find yourself tight and you're now relying on credit cards and all of that stuff. So the general culture here is that you work, which you might say, but don't you work where you're from? It's just not the same. The work ethic and the work culture here is much more disciplined. And I also like the fact that here, whenever you work, any overtime that you do, you are paid for per hour. Whereas back home, you don't feel as pushed to do any overtime because it just still, your salary remains the same. You hardly ever get any overtime payment in just the job or the area that I was in. It's not to say it's for everyone. So essentially you find yourself just in survival mode more than just living your best life as how it looks, because you end up doing long hours, and you're just really drained and you're really exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally, which can take a toll. I understand now why people in the UK, I suppose in other parts of the Western world, take holidays so much, because they have literally earned it. Like they have. It's such a culture here for people to take a holiday every year. Abroad, or even 2 or however long. Like whenever they come back from their holiday, they're already planning for the next one. And you get to understand that it's actually because you work so hard. You have to have that balance, and you have to have something to look forward to while you're working so hard. So yeah, it's just really, really exhausting. It's draining, and you can find yourself even falling more into that whole depression or like a funk, because you can work so much, and then whenever you have some time off, you're so tired, you're trying to catch up and relax. And at the same time, that coupled with the fact that, oh, you're all alone, you can't even go and, you know, see your mom for a hug or stuff like that. So it's just very, you might be working and you're getting the money, but because you're so exhausted and just so mentally, emotionally drained, it's very easy to find yourself falling into a funk. A very important topic is money struggles. Yes, you heard me right. Money struggles. We have them as well when living abroad. So although you're earning more money, in my case, for example, in the job that I used to do, I easily now earn like 4 or 5 times more than I used to earn. So you are earning more money, but the quality, the cost of living here is also really, really high. So it might be more money in terms of if you convert it to your currency in your home country, but you still have a life to live here in the UK. Like rent, your utilities, you have to have your other essential bills like your childcare, you're paying for car, your contracts for your phone, whatever normal bills you have, they are still just as high. So although you're getting in a lot more money than you used to, the responsibilities are just the same, if not more, just depending on the lifestyle or life you choose to live. And on top of that, you still have black tax. You still have people that you want to or wish to support back home. So especially, for me, whenever I arrived here, and a lot of people, when you arrive here, sometimes you can't always come with your family because you need to settle in, you need to find that sort of a good home, furnish it and all of that before you're able to bring your immediate family over, your dependents. So it's very, there's more money coming in, but there's actually a lot more going out because you still have to maybe support your family you've left back home, or like you'd like to help out with milestones of like your siblings maybe are graduating, just as an example. So something that I'll say that really I should have learned before, or someone should have told me before, is do not convert the money. Don't convert pounds to emalangeni or rands or whatever your currency is, because you'll have a hard time, because it really adds up to so much more. Like rent, for example, here, because I think that's the biggest one. Rent is to live comfortably in a nice area, you'd be looking at about £800 to £1,000 or even more. And if you convert that, I'll calculate it and I'll put how much that is in rands, just to give you an idea that people who are watching you from back home are like, oh, but you have all this money, and you have every distant cousin, relative asking you, hey, can you please just give me 50 pounds? And you're like, if only people understood how hard you work for the money that you have. And another thing is, whenever you're moving abroad, for the first few years, financially, you're really, really strained because you are starting your life from scratch. You have to, get something as simple as a license. You cannot, it's very cold and you need to have a car, especially if you have a child. But I had been driving for 7 years before I moved to the UK. But when I got here, they do not recognize my license. I can't drive on my license. I'm allowed to drive for a year, but the insurance and all of that would be really, really high. But I have to essentially, I can't just switch my license, is what I'm saying, to a UK one. I have to go through the whole driving process again, and you're learning all these new rules. And when I was in driving school, it cost me £40 an hour, which is crazy. So it's a lot. And then whenever you get the car, your insurance is so high because you are looked at as a new driver. So it's stuff like that. You have to furnish an entire house from scratch. So there's a lot of just this catching up financially as compared to someone who's your age, who's lived here their whole life, who's already done and paid for all of that stuff in their 20s, for example. So it just really sets you back. But eventually, whenever you have gotten all of these, stuff out of the way, you are able to live a more comfortable life, a settled life, and you can be like, other people who are around here who've lived longer. So essentially, your life when you arrive in the UK is much more costly than when you've been here for maybe 10 years, for example. A factor that is actually overlooked is immigration stress. So whenever you come to work in the UK on a work visa, you are tied to the employer that's brought you here for however minimum time it is. At the moment, it's 5 years. And if you want to switch to another job, you have to go through the whole process. You have to find someone who will sponsor you. And it's not every company that is in the UK that can sponsor you. So you might apply for a job and think, wow, this is the job that I want to do. And then you can get here and you can outgrow the job. The job might be good, but the people who are there, are very stressful. Your colleagues are not nice people, or whatever the case may be. Or you just get here and you realize that you like this job, but when you get here, you look at another job and you're like, oh, I'd like to do that job instead, But you are stuck. You can't do that. And over time, if you feel like, okay, this is not what I signed up for, this is not what I thought it would be, and you are still stuck for a certain period of time, it might end up feeling draining, depressing, and you're always almost just stuck, your life is just stuck until, the whole visa thing finishes. Even if you're just feeling okay and stuff like that in the job, you still have those questions. I'll make an example with me. My initial visa was for 3 years, but obviously the company can extend it, which is what happened. But the months and weeks leading up to my visa renewal were incredibly stressful, because you're like, are they going to renew my visa? Even if they decide to renew my visa, are they going to pay for it like they did before? Because the visa process is so expensive. And then you think, even when I've applied for the visa, everything's gone well. Will the UK government, the Home Office, accept my visa or reject my visa? Then when you're done with that, you go to your dependent, then you have to do your son's visa, and you're like, oh, will his get rejected? So it's all this anxiety being you're here, but you're you know, how long will I be here? You know, especially if you feel very content and happy where you are. Like me, I've built this life with my partner and everything, and we're feeling very happy here. And then it's the thought that, like, do you know what, it can easily just be taken away, like just like that. So it causes a lot of stress. If you are up to date with like the news at the moment in the UK, there's a lot of immigration challenges that are happening because people, locals, feel like there's too much immigration that's happening, and they always are making so many changes like, well, you can't bring your dependents anymore, or you can't gain your permanent residence after 5 years. Now they wanted to make it 10 years, you know, stuff like that. So it's always like, you're just like, you're trying to live your life, but you can't ignore all the stuff that's going on immigration wise. And you know, there's all this information that people who are in the UK on visas or work visas, they're entitled to public funds, and you're not. You know, there's a mixture of people coming in on the boats, like illegal immigrants and then legal immigrants, and you know, there's just all of that stuff, and you're like, you feel stressed. You just can't help but feel stressed from immigration stress. You know, you just feel like you are stuck. I also would like to have be a homeowner, but you're limited in that as well. Although you can, you know, get a home, but like your options are limited in terms of banks that would be willing to fund someone who's not a permanent resident here, because they are also like, you know, what if, you know, you don't get your permanent residence and they've borrowed you all this money. So it just makes your life stuck in a lot of ways that you don't realize, but it is stuck. Even if you try and live your life, it's somewhere at the back of your head that you're just like, I wonder what's gonna happen. I've renewed my visa and I'm going on my 4th year, but like what happens when I try to apply for permanent residence? You know, what are the changes gonna be there? The prices keep skyrocketing as well. So it's a lot of stress that really just adds up, on top of all the other stress I have mentioned about being far from home, being alone, and all of that. So it all just really adds up. As much as you're like rushing to be like, oh, I can't wait to leave, and you know, I can't wait to start my new life, well, here's the thing, you actually miss home a lot. You do. It's all the little things that you miss home about, for the simple fact that you can't even speak your language with anyone here. You always have to speak English, which is fine. We grew up speaking English, but around people, your friends, your family, you're able to just speak your language. But you can't, because there's no one, first of all, to speak your language with. In my case, I live with someone who doesn't understand my language, which is my partner, and it's a bit rude to speak your language in front of him, you know, because he doesn't understand. I do try and teach him, but you know, he doesn't understand it. You know, he understands a few words here and there, but it's nice to be able to speak your language, which you can't do. You miss the food. The food here is so different. You adjust to it, you accept it, but the food is so different. I did a video where I was talking about even the fact that you might miss some foods from your country, but I'll cook it and no one's gonna eat it. You know, it almost feels like a waste. You buy like impopo, but you won't eat it all the time, so it ends up going bad and it ends up being a waste of money and all of that. And also just feeling understood, fitting in. The culture is different. You just feel like you move away from who you are, your culture and stuff a lot more, because there's really no one to share it with. Because they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Do you know what I mean? So it's all of that stuff there that you just miss, or you want to have I don't know, like you wanna have like a barbecue, in your backyard, and you wanna, like, you know, have music on, bumping, playing on my piano and all of that. But then it's a very quiet area. Now it's not common for people to just be like thumping music till like, I don't know, till whatever hours of the morning, or however it is. You know how it is back home. Just the sense of like, when it's the weekend, it's like time to relax. It's time to go out, drive your car to the car wash, and then you sit there and there's music playing and just that whole culture. It's not there, and you miss home so much, especially in times like this, when it's like Christmas time, the holiday times, where everyone you see on Instagram, it hurts so much. Everyone is going back home. Everyone is gone off for their holidays. They've shut down work until January, but you are stuck. There's none of, whether you're off work, whether you're in work, they're fine. It's just the same. So you miss home so much, and every time on especially Christmas and especially Christmas Day, and where everyone is there with family, you are not there. And it is so expensive to travel home during Christmas time. What I'm trying to say is, you don't realize how much you miss home until you're actually away from it. All those little things you took for granted, you don't have anymore, and it's not nice. I'm not gonna lie, it's not nice. I remember when I first got here, before my son came, I was alone for 6 months before I was able to bring him over, and my alcohol consumption skyrocketed. And it's obviously like because of how you're feeling, or you're feeling alone, or you're feeling depressed, and it's so hard to meet people. I still didn't have my partner back then, but I've sorted out the whole alcohol dependency to the point where I don't even care about it anymore, to be honest. But then there's still other stuff like, oh, my child is so loud. But there's still other stuff like, now I've had troubles with like eating, because all the food you want in the world is affordable, but you end up eating so much, and I've gained quite a lot of weight since I arrived here. So it's if you're not careful, all of these little things can really add up to something bigger. So you really need to try and find your place or your happiness in this country, or wherever it is you've moved abroad. Now, it's not all bad. Living abroad has shaped me and made me really grow up. So it has. So I've learned to be more resilient, more independent. I've had to grow up very quickly. I thought I was growing up, but I had to do a lot more growing up very quickly. And just being comfortable in your own skin, in your own space, accepting how different you are. I think I've said that in another video, like where you just like, you obviously step outside the house and you just can immediately feel you are not home because of how you look. Let's not even go too far. So all of that stuff that can make you feel uncomfortable and shrink yourself, you need to learn to fight through it, essentially, and become bigger than that. There's a lot more opportunities here. A lot of people are probably like me. I never thought of moving abroad before my son. The main reason why I moved abroad was because I wanted better opportunities and a better quality of life for him. I found myself, one thing I appreciate about here is the fact that, you do have a good quality of life, especially for your dependent, your child, because they're just there having a comfortable life without all of the stuff. You're the one who has to work, you're the one who has to plan all the trips and stuff like that, but they're just there. But whenever they are of age, they won't have to go through all of this stuff, being stuck on a visa or whatever. They can just work wherever they want, for whatever company they want. They can open their business if they want to, because another thing on my work visa is if I decide to see a business opportunity, I can't, because I'm not allowed to have a business or work for another job. So they have those opportunities. Even for you yourself, you have exposure. Like now, you're so close to Europe. It's cheaper flying to Europe on holiday than it is traveling to your own country. And that's a life you wouldn't have been able to live. Number one, it's a life you wouldn't have been able to afford. But now you can afford anything you want to eat, anything you want to wear, and I even think any car you want to drive, because they are so generous in terms of offering you credit for anything. You can have the latest phone, but I think I'm at that age where now I use an iPhone 14 Plus, and if this phone doesn't drop dead, give up, I'll probably not get one, because I just don't care about stuff like that anymore. But I could have the latest phone, the latest car, and all of that, which is something I could have never even dreamed of if I was back home. Everything was so stressful. I remember even like not even being comfortable in terms of my basic needs. Like if I want to have bacon, I have to be like, can I buy bacon every week? No, I probably can't. It might be a luxury. It's just an example. But yeah, like you know that your basic needs are done, they're taken care of. It's not an issue. So it's, you get to be comfortable in life and provide yourself a good quality of life. You have the means to provide yourself a good quality of life. And I guess more so for me, because I've met, you know, the love of my life. And you know, someone I want to spend my life with, and life for me now here is even more meaningful than it was before. So I have all the exposure, all the opportunities, a better quality of life for my son, but I also have, you know, someone who makes me really happy, who I want to share my life with. So I have more comfort and more stuff to look forward to at home. And that's all it is. It's just about finding your happiness in all of this. And you might get here and realize it's not for me. It's just too much for me, and that's okay. But it's important for you not to go into this thinking everything is going to be rosy when you get here. Nope, it's right. So if you're watching this from home and you're thinking my life is behind because I haven't moved abroad, no. Everyone has the same struggles. You know, everyone will have struggles. It's just, it's now in different locations. That's literally it. Like I might have more financial freedom than someone who's watching from, you know, another part of the world. But like you have other things that I don't have. Like you're close to family. You have a better quality of life emotionally, just because you're surrounded by people, culture, or whatever. My advice for people moving abroad, and I've written this down, is don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 10. Like I said, if we spoke in my first or third month while I was living here, I would be saying something completely different than to where I am now. So do not compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. You know, our life will always be different, and we might reach the same goals, but in just different times. There's people, like I said, who are my age, who at 30 are homeowners, but I can't, because I have to go through all these hurdles first, and my house chapter might be in 2 years, in 5 years, who knows. So don't compare yourself to someone else's chapter. Be prepared mentally, not just financially. So it is, you, like I said, you might have financial freedom, but mentally you need to be prepared for other stuff that comes with living here. It's not just about financial freedom. And have realistic expectations. Like I said, don't think that everything here will be rosy. You need to be realistic about the fact that it's a whole different country and it will have its own challenges. And know your why. Know why you are moving here. Because at the end of the day, when everything gets so hard and overwhelming, you will remember why you moved here. What was your reasoning for moving here? And that will keep you going, because you'll realize that this is the stuff that I actually wanted. I wanted to not stress about my basic needs, and now I don't. So you really need to know why you're moving abroad, not just because you're moving because it looks nice. No, deeper reason. If this video resonated with you, just know that you're not alone. So please like, comment, subscribe, and share your experiences, whether you are living abroad or you are only just dreaming of it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you back soon. Don't forget that I upload a video every Sunday.